Hello guys, welcome to Tech Card Solution. Today we will discuss some questions and answers about networking. So let's start. First question is, what is a network? A network is a collection of interconnected devices that communicate with each other to share resources and information. Means two or more computers are connected to each other and they share information to each other. This is called as a network. So in a network, switch, router, PCs, printers, uh, these devices are comes in a network. Second question is, what is the difference between LAN and a WAN? A LAN is used for connecting devices within a limited area, like a home or office. Means uh, in a small network, means suppose we have a building and that buildings have every floor having uh, connections, the so there that buildings comes in a LAN network, means there is having a small area but in case in a city there is having two different location, and that different locations having different network. So those networks are connected to each other. That is we can call as a WAN. So WAN cover a border area such as connecting multiple LANs over a large distance, like between cities and countries. Means suppose both countries are network. For example, we take an example of TCS. TCS one branch is having in Pune and another branch is having in USA. So they both the branches are connected to each other. So we can call this is a WAN network. Third question is, what is an IP address? So IP address is a logical address. It is a unique identifier to assign to each device on a network that allow it to communicate with each other. So there is two different IP address. One is a IPv4 and another is a IPv6. IPv4 is a 32-bit IP address. It divide in a four segment. So also there is having five classes in IPv4. Uh, their classes have a different range. In IPv6, it is a 128 bit. It divide in eight segment, and each segment have a 16 bit. What is a subnet mask? A subnet mask is used in a IP networking to divide an IP address into network and host a portion. It helps determine which part of the IP address refer to the network and which part refer to the individual device. Means subnet mask means our IP address is divided in five class. There is A, B, C, mm, D, and E. So every class having their different range. So in A class, there is having uh, 8 bit for the network and remaining 192 bit for the uh, sorry 24 bit for the uh, host, and B network there is having a 16 bit for the uh, network and 16 bit for the host, and in C uh, there is 24 bit for the network and 8 bit for the host. So uh, D and E we don't use for the it is used for D is used for the multitasking, and E is used for the uh, experimental purpose. What is the DNS? DNS stands for domain name system. It is translate human friendly domain name into IP addresses that the computer use to identify each other on the network. Means uh, DNS is work in application layer. DNS work like telephone directory, which is having person name and contact number, and as a human being, it is easy to remind the name than number. Same work uh, done in DNS. So this is having a mapping IP address with the name, which we can request to name. So DNS convert or translate uh, it into IP address. What is DSCP? So DSCP stands for the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Is a network protocol that automatically assign IP address and other network configuration parameter to device on a network. Uh, in the means when we configure the DSCP on a server, they assign a IP address to their clients automatically. So we no need to go to client PCs and type IP address. This will can happen with the help of DSCP. Seven question is, what is the router? The router is the device that forward data packets between two different network. Means suppose we want to communicate with the another network. So with the help of router, we can communicate with that network. It is uh, it determine the best path for uh, to the data to travel to the destination. What is a switch? Switch is a device that connect a device within a LAN, and it use a MAC address to forward the data only to the determined receipt, reducing network traffic. Means switch work in a LAN network. So when we want to send the data to the destination with the help of MAC address, because switches having their own MAC address table, and so every report MAC address stored in that table. So when they switch on to send the data to the destination, so they check MAC address to their table, and then uh, which MAC address to match to the destination. So only that port switch send the data. What is a firewall? Firewall is used for the security device and software that monitors and control incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rule. It help protect network and unauthorized access and threat. Means with the help of firewall, we uh, our network we can secure. So we defined some rules to secure our network. We put some restrictions. Means we can provide read only access, write only access, executable access, So with the help of firewall, we can avoid uh, uh, or protect our network from the attackers. What is a NAT? NAT stands for Network Address Translation. Uh, is a technique used to identify IP address information in a packet header. While it transmit across a router or a firewall, it allow multiple devices or on a local network to share a single public IP address. Means it is converted the private IP address to the public IP address. So with the help of this, our private network we can secure and we can save from the attackers. So there is facility to multiple. We can private address convert on a single public IP address. There are three type of NAT. First is a static NAT. Second one is a dynamic NAT. Third one is a PAT. PAT means port address translation. 11 question is, what is a VPN? VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It creates a secure encrypted connection over a less secure network like internet to ensure private communication between devices. Means uh, VPN we use for the we create one tunnel to from source to destination. So we provide some encryptions to that tunnel. So in attackers don't know that keys which we provide to that encryption. So uh, attacker can't attack to our tunnel. There is having two type of VPN. One is a site-to-site VPN, and another one is a remote access VPN. In site-to-site VPN, we can connect uh, to branch uh, to each other, and there is having separate line. So uh, another can't interfere in that tunnel. So and remote access means suppose we can connect to home uh, a single employee to their branch. So VPN, another use of VPN is to we suppose we want to connect to that to branches to each other, so we need to uh, connect securely. So we want to put one single cable and connect to each other, but it is so much costly. So we can avoid that cost and uh, do our network secure with the help of VPN. What is what is the OSI model? The OSI stands for Open System Interconnection Model. It is a conceptual framework used to understand and standardization the functions of a network. It has seven layers: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. The OSI is divided into two sections. First is upper layer. In upper layer, application, presentation, session, transport comes, and in lower part, physical data link and network comes. So every part having their different protocols, and they provide that protocol to uh, to the and every part the data is converted in the another segment. In application layer, the data is in the form of the character and numbers. So when data comes in a presentation layer, that character and numbers convert in machine understandable binary format. In a presentation also there is having some uh, functions like they complex data, they encrypted, decrypted data, they uh, uh, use SSL layer for the encryption and decryption. When it comes data in the session layer, so every layer they establish some uh, uh, sessions, they maintain that session and terminate that session. So also we do in a session layer there is having a authentication, authorization, session management part. So we can provide some access uh, in authorization, means like we assign some for the read access, read only access, so write access, executable access. uh, काय ग? When the data comes in a transport layer, they we can control the data. We can also we're finding some error, so we we also provide some flow controls. So there is having two protocols. One is the TCP, second one is UDP. So TCP is a connection oriented and UDP is a connection less. When data comes in a network layer, the uh, in a network layer data is in the form of the packet. That packets uh, assign some source IP address and destination IP address. Router comes in a network layer. So we find the best path to reach the destination with the help of some routing protocols like OSPF, TCP, OSPF, RIP, EIGRP, BGP. When data comes in a data link layer, there is data is in the form of the frame, though that frame having some MAC, source MAC address, destination MAC address. There is a switches comes in a data link layer. So take a switches take a decision with the help of their MAC address table. When data comes in a physical layer, the data is in the form of the signal. So some physical hardware devices comes under the physical layer, means cat 5 cable, uh, ethernet port. Those are comes in a physical layer. What is a MAC address? MAC address stands MAC stands for Media Access Control. So it is a unique identifier assigned to the network interface card of the device. It is used to identify device at the data link layer of the OSI model. Means switch work under the MAC address, and that switch take a decision with the help of that MAC address table. So every device have their unique MAC address. So and that MAC address means network interface card, NIC card. They having that MAC address. What is a TCP? TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. It is a connection-oriented protocol that ensure a reliable data transmission between devices by establishing a connection before data is sent and checking for error. Means is a connection-oriented protocol. It is use a three-way handshaking for the connection, means three-way handshaking means when client request to the server. So firstly, client send a sync message to the server. After that, the server responds to a client that sync message and acknowledgement to the client, and then again client send that the sync acknowledges to the another acknowledge it from the client to the server. After that, they send a message to each order, means client send a request to the server, and then server response to the client. That is happening in TCP. uh, uh, what is UDP? UDP is a opposite part of the TCP. So in a TCP there is a connection oriented, and in UDP, UDP is the connectionless protocol. So uh, in a TCP there is having 100% surety to reach the data to the destination, but in a UDP there is no any feedback comes from the servers or to reach the data to the destination. TCP, the best example of the TCP is email. When we send is email to someone, there is having a surety to our mail sent to the to someone. But in a UDP, there is no having any surety. So when we do the some streaming, uh, we get some mm, uh, it is not sure about the streaming, so it is complete or not, means uh, there is no any facility to checking for error, or but it is a UDP is a more faster, is faster than the TCP. What is a network topology? The network topology refer to the arrangement of different elements like nodes and etc. It is a computer network. Common topologies include star, ring, mesh, and bus. Means there is having some different topologies like a star, ring, mesh, and bus. Every topology is having their different functions and advantages and some disadvantages. So every network we designed with the those topologies. And stars topology means in stars topology there is having a center point, and that center point we can means all over our network handle with that center part. When center parts fail, all our network goes down. In a ring topology means each computer connected in a ring. So suppose one device got fail, then all remaining network goes down. Also, so in bus case there is some line, and that line like bus means suppose in the middle some problems occurs, then it is in maze there is we get some functions, means star topology, ring topology, and bus topology. They all overcome in a mesh. The means every device connected of from the two or three different means suppose when single line failed, then we can overcome our network, or we work on our network with another line. What is a bandwidth? Bandwidth is a maximum rate at which data can be transmitted over a network connection in a given amount of time, usually measured in a bit per second. Means on which time, means in a suppose we send the data 100 Mbps per second to the another device. So that in that case our 100 Mbps is our bandwidth. means in a second we send 100 mbps data. uh, what is the latency? Latency is the time it takes for a data packet to travel from the source to destination across the network. It is often measured in milliseconds. Means latency we measure in a millisecond, and suppose when data s- travel from source to destination, so how much time it will take uh, to travel data from source to destination, that is comes under latency. What is a packet switching? The packet switching is a method of a data transmission where data is broken into smaller part, each sent independently over the network and assembled at the destination. This method is efficient and help in managing a network traffic. Means in a packets layer, suppose we have two different route to reach the destination. Packet first, in first case packet it divide in two parts, and suppose we send the data, so that packets suppose that packet divide in a four part. So on first route, uh, 1 and 3 goes from the first route, and on the second route 2 and 4 goes from the second route. So when we there is the destination, they again assemble to each other, and when we divide in a packet, they every packet assign their number. When uh, they they assembled sequentially. So our data reach to the destination is on correctly. That is happening in a packet switching. What is a circuit switching? Circuit switching is a method of communication where a dedicated communication path or circuit is established between two devices for a duration of the conversion or session. When two devices are communicated with each other, so they take some time to communicate with each other. In that, it at that time they provide some provide create some circuit to establish time between the two devices. That is happening in a circuit switching. What is a gateway? Gateway is a device that connects a different network and translate protocols or data format to ensure completely between them. Means gateway, suppose a router. Router connect with the help of router we can connect to the another network, and that we configure their interface. So when uh, inside interface, that is we can call as a gateway. What is an endpoint means ended device like a computer, printer, smartphone. Means in our communication network, uh, or end device, which device is our in our end, that device we can call as a endpoint. What is a villain? Villain is a logical subgrouping within LAN that groups device together regardless of their physical location, improving network management and security. Means villain is for the security or management. Suppose we have a network, and in that network LAN network, so there is having 100 PCs under that network. So it is too much difficult to handle the all this type of huge network. So we divide that network in some part. So it is not physically divided. We can divide it logically. So we divide oh some HR part, accountant part, management part. Uh, so uh, so we reduce our configuration and broadcast traffic. What is a network interface card? Network interface card is a hardware component that allow to device to connect to the network. It can be wired or wireless and has a unique MAC address. Means uh, network device card means our LAN cable is connected to the computer. Which port? That port we can call as a network interface card. What is a proxy server? Proxy server is an intermediate server that separate end users from the websites they browse. It provides security, anonymity, and caching for faster access to frequently used resources. Means of a, a proxy server. When we request to the server, so our proxy server comes between client and server. So uh, when client send a request to the server, first our request goes to the proxy server, and then proxy server uh, transfer IP and send request to the server, uh, and they create one table, that table having information about uh, client IP, and when that sent to the server, that IP they are mapping to each other. When response come from the server, they store that information to us and then provide to the that client. When again come the uh, client request for the that particular data, then proxy check the that data which is having on their own. Suppose the that data is having on a proxy server, then proxy server don't send a request to the server. They only provide that request directly to the that client. That is happening in the proxy server. So with the help of this, the we can get the faster communication. What is a QoS? QoS means quality of services. It is a set of technology and techniques used to manage and prioritize network traffic to ensure that the critical applications receive the necessary bandwidth and performance. Means suppose two we can do some work simultaneously. Means like we can calling on video streaming and downloading some movies or some another thing. So they provide some priorities to that task. Means they provide some first priority to the our video calling, and then for the downloading the movie. What is a subnet? Subnet is a segment of a larger network created by dividing a IP address into smaller, more manageable section. Subnet help improve network organization and security. Means Subnet means it is our big network we can divide in a small network. So we can manage a small network. Hmm. It is more easy to the handle the big network. What is ICMP? ICMP means Network Control Message Protocol, is used for network diagnostic and error reporting. It include message like ping to test connectivity between devices. Uh, what is a network protocol? The A network protocol is a set of rule and conversion that define how data is transmitted and received over the network. For example, include a TCP/IP, HTTP, and FTP. Means network protocol is a set of rule. It is a when data is we can transmit or receive. Uh, in that case, network data use some network protocol. That protocols there are so many protocols, but we can use HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, TCP. What is an ARP? ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. It is a map an IP address to the MAC address with a local network, allowing device to communicate with each other. Means it is a mapping to IP address to the MAC address. So with the help of mapping, we can find the particular device which we want to communicate. What is a broadcast domain? The broadcast domain is a network segment where a broadcast message sent by any, any device received by all device within that segment. It is typically bounded by a router. Means a broadcast domain. It is happening in a router. So when we want to send the data, and that data received for all remaining devices, means that is happening a broadcast. What is a collision domain? A collision domain is a network segment where data packets can collide with each other during a transmission. Devices within a same collision domain share the same network bandwidth. Means the collision domain is happening in a switch, so they use same network bandwidth, and when data comes data when we transfer data, and when we receive data, so that happening in at the same time, so we can call that is a collision. What is a port in networking? So port is a logical endpoint used by the network protocol to manage multiple connection on a single IP address. For example, port 80 we use for the HTTP traffic, 443 we use for the HTTPS traffic, uh, 53 we can use for the DNS. What is a handshake in networking? Handshake is a process used to establish a connection between two devices. For example, a TCP or TCP use a three-way handshake, means there is having some mm, flags like sync flag, sync acknowledgement flag, and acknowledgement flag. With the help of this, we can establish a reliable connection. What is an access point? Access point is a device that allow wireless device to connect to a wired network using Wi-Fi or other wireless protocol. Means access point. Firstly, we can connect to the wired, and after that we will provide a wireless uh, uh, connection or wired to connection to the others. So our home we use uh, TP-Link router or D-Link router, that is also access point. What is a network cable? Network cable is a physical medium used to connect network devices. Common type include Ethernet cable, means Cat5, Cat6, fiber cable, Cat5 or Cat6 cable. We can send up to 100 Mbps or the or 1000 Mbps data to with the help of fiber cable. There is we can send light to lighting signal, and no, this is this cable we can use for the multiple tasking. Means we use for the connecting telephone, or use for the connecting PC. What is a loopback address? Loopback address is a special IP address. Means 127.0.0.1 we can use for the IPv4, and double colon 1 for the IPv6. It is used for the testing purpose for the itself. Means on the same device we can put that address for the testing purpose. What is a network address translation? Network address translation means NAT. NAT is translate our private IP address to the public IP address. For it is used for the security purpose. Means we can hide our private network from the uh, public network for so there is having three type of NAT. First is static NAT, second is dynamic NAT, third one is that means port address translation. We can translate the port. Mm. What is a network topology diagram? The network topology uh, diagram is a visual representation of a physical or logical layout of the network, showing the connections between devices and how data flow through the networks. Means in the topology we can use a bus topology, ring topology, star topology, mesh topology. So there is every topology has their different infrastructure. There are some advantages, some disadvantages, and we every network comes under these topologies. What is a pin testing? Means in pin testing is a network diagnostic tool used to check the availability and response time for a network device by sending ICMP echo request, and measuring the time it take for the response to return. Means when we send a uh, ping means suppose we want to send we check the want to kind of check the connectivity. So we firstly we check ping command. We use a ping command, ping, and we assign a destination IP address. With the help of this we can check the proper connectivity which our packet will delivered to destination or not. So how time it will require to reach the destination, and response, that time we can calculate with the help of ICMP. What is a network bridge? A network bridge is a device that connect and filter traffic between two or more network segment. Mapping them function as a single network means, we can suppose we want to boost our signal with the, we use a, bridge for the signal. Or suppose we want to, we can filter the traffic with the help of bridge. What is a DSCP lease? DSCP lease a temporary assignment of an IP address to a device by a DSCP server. The lease has an expiration time after which the IP address may be reassigned. What is the network intrusion detection system? The network intrusion detection system is used for the security purpose. It comes in under the firewall. They suppose with the help of intrusion detection system, we can find detect the an error, or in a when some attacker attack to our network. With the help of IDS we can find there, and it makes alarm uh, to administrators of the political threats. What is a demilitarized zone? Means a DMZ. A DMZ is a network segment that's set between a private internal network and the external network, uh, internet. So we used to host public facing services while providing a additional layer of of a security. Means, we DMZ we can set differently from the internal or out network, and mostly there is having some uh, servers, so which uh, client can request for the server for particular services, and then server responses. But there we assign some rules for some internal part, or some external part. They can permit or deny. We can set this type of rule with the help of firewall routers, or what is an IP packet? So IP packet is a unit of data transmit over the IP network. It contains the header with the routing information, and the payload with the actual data being sent. What is a MAC address table? The MAC address table is maintained by a network switch to map IP address to specific switch port, establish efficient data forwarding to the correct destination. Uh, what is a network segment? The network segment is a portion of a network that is separated by a device like a switch or router. Segment help manage the network traffic and improve performance. What is a TTL? Means time to live value in a networking. That TTL is a find in a IP packet that specify the maximum time or number of hops a packet can travel before being discarded. It help prevent packets from calculating identity. What is a network simulation tool? Network simulation tool means we can perform various work like main device means we can use a packet tracer for or a GNS for performing switching functionality or routing functionality or firewall functionality. Um, so we can also practice our some shaped we can configure the so how to configure switch or router so we can understand with the help of these simulators. What is a broadcast storm? Broadcast storm occurs when there is a excessive broadcast traffic on a network, uh, which can overwhelm network device and degrade performance. It is often caused by network loops or misconfigured the device. Means the broadcast always happen when there is some having a loops or misconfigured. In that case, the broadcast storm is happening.